Hello and welcome to our first Thursdays with Annette for 2021. You may notice it looks a little different at the moment because I've got someone next to me and I've also got a new accessory. So if you didn't watch Tuesday's show, let me just quickly tell you, last Friday I had a fall. I was walking on wet tiles, I flipped back, really banged my shoulder, and unfortunately I've broken my humerus here. So,
ouchie.
you know, yes, it's an ouchie. Actually, wait a minute, we need the microphone. Okay, wait a minute, sorry, we just realised the microphone wasn't there. So let's start this again. So welcome to the show. 2021 is going to be awesome. But as you can see, we have a little difference here, and I have an assistant because, and I'll introduce her in a minute, but I fell over quite badly on my left shoulder walking on wet tiles, and so I'm out of action for a few weeks. So my beautiful daughter, Rachel.
Hi everyone.
She's my middle one. I've been blessed with three beautiful girls, Kelly, Rachel and Jenna. And Rachel is quite famous because of her fabulous daughter. You may remember Portia from the MasterChef, which was on Australia last year. Well, this is her mum, and you know, you were sort of proud of her, weren't you?
I was very, very proud. Yes.
I know, and of course,
good genes. The cooking runs in the family.
I think it's because we all love to cook and love to eat. We like to eat. So Rachel's going to help fill in today for me, which is fantastic because I can't really cook. I'm going to come back in a little bit at the end, but in the meantime, what's the recipe for today, Rach?
We're cooking carrot cake.
So it's out of this book. Here's the picture.
Book one.
So book one, show the recipe.
There it is here.
Yeah. And there is also a gluten-free version in book 5. So, you know, if you're a gluten intolerant person or you know somebody, really good carrot cake there. Anyway, I am going to leave you with Rachel. Well done for helping out. And I'm excited for you to get to know my beautiful daughter, Rachel. So let's put the microphone back on.
Can you do it?
I'm doing it. Maybe if you can push it in. There we go. And welcome.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm Rachel. I'm so excited to be here. I wasn't the first choice. That's right, my beautiful daughter Portia, of course, would have loved to have been here, but because it's live, she's in school. So I'll do my best and, you know, cheer me on. Okay, so what we're cooking today is carrot cake. Like we said, it's out of book 1. I love it because it's like the OG original recipe. That's right, back in book 1 when it all started, you know, it's a fabulous one that I'm sure you will love if you haven't made it before. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through all of the ingredients to make sure that you have everything ready to cook. So we need 2 egg whites, 1/3 cup of sugar, a cute little tiny jar of Heinz applesauce. We have 2 tablespoons or 30 grams of Floralite margarine, 1 cup of grated carrot. Thanks, Dad, for pre-grating for me. We have a 1/4 cup of chopped walnuts. I'm going to chop them in a little bit. Now, also with the walnuts, if you don't love them, you can substitute them for any other nuts you like. I love a walnut, especially in a carrot cake. So, you know, it's up to you. Then we've also got 1/3 cup of sultanas. And same with the walnuts. You can substitute that for currants or even mixed fruit or diced apricots. You know, you can mix it up however you like. But we're definitely going with the sultanas because, you know, we're sticking with the original for sure. Then we also are going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger and 2 teaspoons of lemon rind that's grated. We also have 1.5 cups of self-raising flour that is sifted and 3/4 teaspoon of bicarb soda that will mix in with a 1/4 cup of warm water. I've also got my cooking spray. I'm going to do that quickly now to grease the tin so it's all ready to go. You can actually, I'm using a loaf tin today. I really love the loaf tins because you get really nice thick slices that then you can wrap up and pop in the freezer for a later time when you get an urge and you really need some snacks. You can also use a 19 centimetre round tin, that works as well. Okay, so make sure you set your oven to 180 degrees fan force, so that's all ready to go. We're going to get started. So first I'm going to start just with chopping the walnuts. So my dad did a great job in helping prep today with all of the fabulous grating, but I'm just going to, I've got to do something. I am here. So I'm going to just chop these walnuts. Now you don't want them too thin because you want to get the chunks. You want to make sure that you get a nice bit of nut in there when you're biting into that beautiful moist cake. All right, so that looks great. I love these knives. Okay, I'm going to put that over here. So I do suggest when you're cooking, it's so much easier if you definitely prep everything beforehand, because Annette makes it so easy that you can just chuck it all in. Okay, so I'm going to just pop that over there and move these over to the sink. Okay, so now we're going to get cooking. All right, we're going to start first with the egg whites. So wish me luck. Let's see if we get any shells in it. I think that'll depict whether I take it home or not. Okay, so we want 2 egg whites. And this, of course, is great because it keeps the fat count down. So for a traditional slice of carrot cake, you're looking at least 35 grams of fat per slice. Where with Annette's way, the Simply Too Good way, it's only 3.5 grams of fat for one slice. Isn't that incredible? That's 1/10 of the fat. That's right. Thank you, Annette. Okay, so I'm just gonna, my hands are a bit yuck. So we've got the 2 egg whites in here. We're gonna add the 1/3 of a cup of sugar. We're gonna use an electric beater and beat that up. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to melt my margarine while I'm beating, got to multitask in the kitchen. So I'm just going to melt that in the microwave for 20 seconds. Please put the cling wrap on. I made it recently and thought I can't be bothered to do it. And guess what? It exploded everywhere. So instead of 20 seconds, I had to spend 10 minutes cleaning my microwave. So do that. Okay, so electric mixer, we're going to beat this for a minute. Now I actually made this cake recently and took it to a friend's house when we were doing like dinner and watching a movie and stuff for dessert. And my friend actually ate half of the cake. Yes, that's right, not just a slice or two, but half the cake. So Annette has obviously been amazing and done, a service to us all in keeping the fat, 1/10 of the fat down. But if you do eat half the cake, it's probably not the best idea. So I always make sure that when they come out, I slice them straight away. You get 10 serves for this recipe. I wrap them in Glad wrap and then I bung them in the freezer. So I know I have something yummy and delicious waiting for me anytime I need to. Especially in those afternoons when I get home with the kids and the school and all that sort of stuff, and I want to eat the whole pantry out, I go, hang on, I have a yummy piece of cake in the freezer that will satisfy all of my needs. All right, so we've given that a nice little whisk. That there. Okay, so you've got that now. What we're going to do is the really hard bit and just chuck everything in. That's right, that's what we love about Simply Too Good, is because it's super easy. Kids can do it, anyone can. Get in the kitchen, let's, be teaching our kids how to cook these things. And who knows, they might land up on Junior MasterChef. Okay, so we're gonna start with, I'm gonna add the little baby applesauce. My little, is there a teaspoon? There we go. And I love this because it's just so easy. Now the reason why we have the applesauce is because it adds the moisture to the cake, which is just fantastic. So it's a really clever substitute that Annette has come up with, that instead of all the oil and butter, applesauce, who knew? Annette. So we bung that in. There we go. I'm going to check my margarine and hopefully that has melted nicely. I'm going to pour that in, and then I'm just going to chuck all the rest of the ingredients in. A cup of grated carrot. Thank you, Dad. I appreciate your prep work. Do you have a dad at home that can do prep work for you? I'm going to move these out of the way. Okay, so we've got a cup of grated carrot, the beautiful walnuts, which is 1/4 cup. We're going to add 1/3 cup of sultanas. And I just love this, so easy. Chuck it in. We've got 2 teaspoons of lemon rind. And I'm going to add a teaspoon of ground ginger. So I'm going to use my spoons. If you do not have these Simply Too Good spoons, you need to get on the website and get them. I have 6 of the teaspoons and the tablespoons because they make my life so easy. You can even measure to 1/8, which is incredible. All right, so a teaspoon of the ground ginger. You can even just use it and flip it and it'll pour it in for you. Okay, so we're going to give this a good old mix. Now this you can be really, get in there. Don't be shy to mix all the ingredients in. Now's the time to really get in because when we do add the flour, we need to be gentle. All right, so we've mixed that in. Now what we're going to do is add the bicarb with the warm water. All right, so we have 3/4 teaspoon of the bicarb and I've got nice 1/4 cup of warm water and that just helps it dissolve. Okay, just mix that in. There we go. Okay, what is it? A clean chef is a good chef? All right. So that'll process and that really helps make everything nice and light and delicious. Okay, how are you going? Are you excited to make this carrot cake at home? I'm sure everyone else will be. Don't forget, you need to preheat your oven at 180 degrees. All right, so that's all done. So now I'm going to add the 1.5 cups of self-raising flour. Definitely sift this because that helps lighten the cake as well. Okay, so you can use a fancy fabulous thing like this or just the little metal strainer that you can use as well. So I sift it and put it straight in. And now what we need to do is we need to be very careful. So we need to pretend that this cake is our newborn baby and we need to softly fold it in because if we are too rough with it, the cake will be tough. And we don't want that. We want light, we want moist, we want fabulous. So gently fold it in, please. Okay, so I always like to tilt my bowl a little bit. It just helps me to really lift that up and combine those ingredients. So Portia actually gave me a tip too. She says that figure eights are actually a really good way of mixing it all in but not overbeating it. So there's a little tip for you too. So remember, you want it to be just combined because then we're going to move it into the tin. Okay, it's coming together pretty well. Can't wait to get it in the oven. It's going to be yum. Who's coming over for a piece? All right. Now if there's any little bits, that's okay. You can sort of mush them in when you put it in the pan. We just don't want to overwork it. Okay, let's put it in the loaf tin. Okay. All right, let's see if I've got my strong gym muscles to get this in. But seriously, guys, how easy was that? Anyone can do this. You just do a little bit of grating, a little bit of measuring, and then plop, in it goes. All right, so what I'm going to do is make sure, you want to make sure that you flatten it and it not really go up in the middle because it will naturally rise. So make sure you really smooth that out. And then we're going to put it in the oven and we're going to cook it for 35 to 40 minutes. So can't be easier. Make sure you set an alarm because I know that I lose track of time very easily. Okay, that's looking good. Okay. So there you have it. We're going to go in the oven 35 to 40 minutes. Don't forget to set your timer. so that's all done. And how you know whether it's ready or not is you touch it gently in the middle of the cake, and if it springs back, it is done. So because TV is fabulous, we already have a pre-done cake that we're going to ice. So I'm going to take you through how to do the icing for the cake now. Okay, so for the icing, it's super simple. All we need is half a cup of sifted icing sugar, a teaspoon or 5 grams of Floralite margarine. We also then have any leftover zest for decorating. Same with the cinnamon, I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then we also have 1 to 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. So, super easy. Get your sieve, put your half a cup of icing sugar in it. And this just makes sure that it's really nice and smooth. I'm then going to mix the teaspoon or 5 grams of the Floralite in with it, and then add just a teaspoon to start with of the lemon juice and give it a good old mix, and then I'll judge from there how much I need. Okay. All right, we've got the teaspoon going in. And then I'm just going to measure with the fabulous spoons a teaspoon of lemon juice. Give it a mix and then I'll see what we need to add. It's really important that it's not runny, because if the icing is too runny, it will literally slide off the cake. And then all that yummy goodness you miss out on. So you want it to be quite thick. All right, so I'm definitely going to add a little bit more lemon juice in there. I'm going to add another teaspoon. Now a fun fact actually, because this was one of my mum's original recipes, she actually used to sell these slices of carrot cake in the cafe at the Caloundra RSL back in the day. Isn't that exciting? And how great is that? Because who doesn't want something yummy, but that's also healthy and good for us as well? See, you get all the inside tips with family members, hey? All right, I think I'm going to add just a hint more. I think I might have measured probably a little bit too much icing sugar, and that's probably why it needs a little dusting more. All right, that looks great. So let me show you the beautiful cake that was previously made earlier today. Da 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 da! Carrot cake is so yum. I got a good one today, didn't I? All right, so here it is, and icing super easy. Just going to chuck it on top and then spread it around. Now it is a thin layer, so don't be tempted to double the mix, because that's not good. We want to make sure we're not overdoing all the sugars and that. Just enjoy the bit that you have. Sounded very mum of me, didn't it? Okay, so we're going to spread that along, and then you can decorate it. And like I said, there's lots of different ways you can do it. You can be a bit fancy and put it in a piping bag and do like a nice squiggle along, you know, if you want to, you know, impress. Or you can just ice it on like this, because I like my cake to be fully covered in icing. I want to bite, it has to have icing on it. And what we're going to do is, if you have any leftover zest, lemon zest, you can sprinkle that on top, and then a little dusting of cinnamon is really nice as well. So how's it looking? Who wants a piece? Who thought icing would be the longest part of this whole cooking? All right, well that'll do. My family won't care. They're happy with anything really. Okay, so I'm going to be a bit fancy and do both, because we have a little bit of leftover zest. So I'm just going to sprinkle the lemon rind down the middle part. I know, fabulous. Not too much, because we've got the yummy lemon rind in the cake as well. And then got my lovely cinnamon. Make sure you don't use the big open side like I nearly did. Just the little ones, and you're just going to hold it up and give it a little dusting. It looks so pretty. And that's it, guys. That's the carrot cake. I'm excited to see how you go and how you love it and that, because trust me, it's a favourite and it's so moist and delicious. You will love it.
Well done. That is amazing. You did a fabulous job. Didn't you do great? Oh, bless. Well done. Okay. Look, the thing is with the icing, if you have diabetes, you might want to just have the cake plain, but I give you the breakdown for both. Now, the key is, as Rachel said, it's 1/10 of the fat of normal carrot cake, so it's called guilt-free living. I mean, who knew weight loss could be so deliciously healthy? And now, if you would like to win, because yes, we're doing prizes.
Who doesn't want to win? I do.
I know. So you can choose. You can win either book 1, which has the carrot cake that Rachel so fabulously made, or if you're gluten-free, or you would rather have book 5 because that has the gluten-free carrot cake, you can choose. So how do you win? Well, you like, you share, and in the comments you write, you must remember this from all the years, it's hashtag simply2good.com.au. Remember, it's SYMPLY number 2 good. And you'll go in and I'll randomly prick. Now, before we finish up, I want to remind you that I'm actually starting a new challenge on the 15th of February. It's called the After Summer Challenge. Is that right, Bill? End of summer challenge. And we are ready to go. We're super excited. Just because I've got a broken shoulder, it's not stopping me, people. I'm making sure it's going to be the best challenge ever. You can sign up now. Get ready for it. It's amazing. So go to simply2good.com.au/membership. And check it all out. Remember, it starts 15th of Feb.
Not far away.
I know, and if you've been thinking about it on the other challenges, maybe now's the time. So let's talk about next week's show, because Rachel, are you going to come back?
I don't know, should I?
Yes, please.
I think I have no choice. Yes, I'm going to be back.
And what are you making next Thursday?
So, because it's the week of Valentine's Day, obviously I thought, ooh, chocolate, but we've just done sweets. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm making beef stroganoff, which is from book 2. And the reason why I picked this is this was one of the first dishes my husband made me for Valentine's Day. So I thought this would be a really cute thing that maybe some boyfriends and husbands can get in that kitchen and cook a nice meal.
We love it when someone cooks for us, don't we? Yes. So I'm excited because chicken stroganoff, it's one of those ones again. 1/10 of the fat of traditional stroganoff. You're welcome.
That's right, but it's beef. We're doing beef.
We're doing beef instead of chicken, but you can do chicken if you want, because I will tell you about that next week. Okay, so now just remember, we'll be back on Tuesday, and Diane has picked her recipe to make is Malay salad. That's out of the Cooking for a 2 cookbook. And why she picked it is because she's obsessed with the dressing. Yeah, it is. We always thought that the Asian salad was the best, wasn't it? But
I love my Asian salad, but it is. The Malay salad is like the new favourite.
Yeah, I know. Well, guys, thanks for joining me. Remember, check out the website for the information about joining the mentoring program. And thank you, Rachel. You were amazing.
Yay!
Oh, my little Bubba. She did me proud. Anyway, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching.
See you next week. Bye now.